3 hours after I walked out of that auditorium, my daughter-in-law would open her banking app and find a balance that made her go pale. But I'm getting ahead of myself. My name is Linda. I'm 63 years old, widowed for 7 years now, and I spent 31 years as a pediatric nurse before I retired. My husband Tom left me the house free and clear, a decent pension and enough savings that I never had to worry. I also raised a son, Michael, who I thought I'd taught better. For the past 5 years I'd been the family bank, the free babysitter, the emergency contact, the one who showed up with a casserole or a check whenever anyone needed anything. I never questioned it. I thought that's what mothers did. It was a Tuesday afternoon in late May when everything changed. The high school auditorium smelled like floor wax and too many people in a warm room. I'd driven 2 hours to get there, left at 5 in the morning because I wanted a good seat for my grandson Ethan's graduation. I was wearing the navy dress I'd bought specifically for the occasion, and I'd brought flowers. Yellow roses, his favorite. I was standing near the family seating section, program in hand, when my daughter-in-law Jennifer walked up with her mother and 2 sisters. She looked right past me, then at me, then past me again like I was a stranger, and she smiled that tight smile I'd seen her use on telemarketers. "Linda, this section is family only," she said, voice loud enough that people turned. "You'll need to sit in general admission." Her mother smirked. One of her sisters actually pointed toward the back rows. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I looked at her for 3 long seconds, then I said, "Of course," and I turned and walked out of that auditorium still holding the roses. I sat in my car for 20 minutes in that parking lot, hands on the steering wheel, watching families stream inside. That's when it really hit me, the full shape of the last 5 years. I'd paid $18,000 toward Ethan's braces when Jennifer said their insurance wouldn't cover it. I'd co-signed the lease on their bigger apartment when their credit wasn't good enough. I was still paying for the family phone plan, all 4 lines, $192 a month. I'd given them the guest house behind my property rent-free for 2 years while they got on their feet, and they'd only moved out 8 months ago, leaving me to repaint and replace the carpet they'd ruined. I'd bought birthday gifts, Christmas gifts, back-to-school clothes. I'd babysat every weekend for 4 years. And apparently I wasn't family. I started the car. I drove home. I made a pot of coffee. Then I sat down at my kitchen table with my laptop and my phone, and I got to work. First, the phone plan. I called the carrier, waited through the hold music, and when the representative picked up, I said I needed to remove 3 lines from my account. He asked if I was sure. I said I was absolutely sure. She clicked through her system. I heard the keys tapping. "Effective immediately?" she asked. "Effective immediately," I said. Confirmation number 8834-7721B. Done. That was $144 a month back in my pocket. Next, I opened my banking app. Michael was still an authorized user on my savings account from years ago when I'd added him in case of emergency. I clicked Manage Users. I clicked Remove. It asked me to confirm. I confirmed. Then I went into the shared access on my checking account. Same thing. Remove user. Confirm. 8 clicks and he was gone. Then I pulled up the insurance portal. I'd kept Ethan on my supplemental dental and vision plan as a gift, paying an extra $63 a month. I downloaded the removal form, filled it out, scanned it, submitted it. Effective date June 1st. 3 days away. I opened my files and found the lease agreement from when they'd lived in my guest house. They'd left 2 months of utility bills unpaid when they moved out, saying they'd get it to me later. $417. Let it slide. I opened my email and sent Michael an invoice, itemized, with a due date of 7 days. Then I looked around my house. The guest room. Jennifer had stored her entire off-season wardrobe in my guest room closet because their apartment didn't have enough space. She'd been keeping it there for 8 months. I walked upstairs, opened the closet, and started pulling out boxes and garment bags. 12 boxes. I hauled them downstairs, stacked them in the garage, and sent a text to Michael with a photo. Jennifer's belongings. Pick up by this Saturday or I'm donating them. I sat back down. I thought about the money I'd been setting aside, the little fund I'd been growing to help them with a down payment someday. $11,200. I logged into that savings account and transferred every penny of it into a new account. Then I opened a travel site. I'd always wanted to see Ireland. Tom and I had talked about it. I found a 2-week guided tour departing in September. Small group, castles, coastline, everything. $3,800. I booked it. Paid in full. It was almost midnight when I finally turned off the lights and went to bed. I felt calm. I felt clear. The next morning my phone rang at 7:45. It was Michael. Mom, what the hell? My phone's not working. I removed you from my plan, I said. You're an adult. You can get your own. You what? Why would you do that? Because I'm not family apparently. Jennifer made that very clear yesterday. Silence. Then, Mom, she didn't mean it like that. She pointed at the door, Michael. In front of 50 people. She was just stressed. It was a big day. I'm sure it was. I wouldn't know. I left. He sputtered. I heard Jennifer in the background, her voice sharp, asking what was going on. Then she grabbed the phone. Linda, this is ridiculous. You're really going to punish Ethan because of a misunderstanding. I'm not punishing anyone, I said. I'm just stepping back since I'm not part of the family. You're being petty. And you're being removed from my accounts. Check your mail. I've sent an invoice for the unpaid utilities. Your things are in my garage. Pick them up by Saturday. She hung up on me. That Saturday I was in the garden when they pulled into the driveway. Jennifer got out first, her face tight and red. Michael followed, looking exhausted. I stood up, pulled off my gloves and walked over. Your boxes are inside the garage, I said. Jennifer crossed her arms. We need to talk about this. There's nothing to talk about. You're really going to throw a tantrum because of one comment? Do you know how hard I work? Do you know what I'm juggling? I'm aware. Then you should understand. I understand that I drove 2 hours to watch my grandson graduate and you treated me like a stranger, I said. I understand that I've given you thousands of dollars, hundreds of hours, and I didn't even get a seat. Michael stepped forward. Mom, please. Ethan's upset. He doesn't understand why you left. Then Jennifer can explain it to him. A car pulled up behind theirs. My daughter Amy got out. She lived 4 hours south and I'd called her 2 days earlier and told her everything. She walked up, stood next to me and looked at Michael. You should be ashamed, she said to him. Do you even know how much Mom's done for you? Michael looked at the ground. Jennifer's voice went high and tight. This is between us and Linda, Amy. Stay out of it. Amy laughed. You made it family business when you humiliated her in public. Jennifer turned to me. Fine. Fine. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. Are you happy? Can we move on? Your things are in the garage, I repeated. I'll give you 30 minutes. They loaded the boxes in silence and left. 6 weeks later, Amy called me while I was picking up groceries. You'll love this, she said. Jennifer had to get a weekend job. She's working retail at the outlet mall. Good for her. And they had to move. Smaller place. The landlord wouldn't renew without a cosigner and apparently they couldn't find one. I didn't say anything. Michael's barely talking to her from what I hear. Ethan asked if he could come stay with you for a week this summer. What did you tell him? I said he should call you himself. He did 2 days later. I said yes. Just him. Not his parents. In late July, Jennifer sent me a text. It was long, rambling, softer than anything she'd ever sent before. She said things were hard. She said she missed my help. She said maybe we could work something out, start over. I read it twice. Then I replied, I hope things improve for you. I'm not available to help right now. Take care. She didn't respond. In September I flew to Dublin. I saw cliffs and castles and green hills that went on forever. I had tea in a pub that was older than my country. I bought myself a wool scarf the color of heather. I didn't check my phone much. When I got back, the house was exactly as I'd left it. Quiet. I made a cup of tea and sat on the back porch and watched the sun go down over the guest house, which I'd decided I was going to turn into a studio. Maybe for painting. Maybe just for sitting. Here's the thing I wish I'd understood earlier. Love is not the same thing as letting people take from you. Being a good mother doesn't mean being a doormat. And the people who truly value you will never make you feel like you have to earn your place at the table. For years I thought setting boundaries was selfish. I thought saying no meant I didn't care. But what I learned standing in that parking lot with a bouquet of roses and a broken heart, is that sometimes the most loving thing you can do is stop letting people treat you like you don't matter. You teach people how to treat you. I taught them I'd accept anything. So I had to unteach it. That's not cruelty. That's self-respect. And it's never too late to start.